you doing?
Hi.
What's the name on your reservation? First off, the coke ovens here are off limits. This is a news article explaining why. It's a privately owned ranch. People have been trespassing and vandalizing it. Now this one's collapsed. So, since you're not supposed to be down there, we've just deemed this whole road of Rincon off limits. They're down here by the river. Well, this is the spelling of Rincon. Alright, so we're out here. You guys are going to cross over the highway diagonal from where we're at. You're going to go 2 miles to the farm, turn right, go around the farm, and it turns to dirt right there. That 4-mile stretch of asphalt is the only asphalt we want you driving on. Now it's 13.5 miles from my location to the canyon. Once you're there, look to the top, bighorn sheep live in there. After the canyon, we put a little X on this map to remind you if you just don't make that right-hand turn down that trail, you'll bypass the whole coke oven area. This is where all the good four-wheeling is anyways. This is where I take my friends and family. So after the canyon, you're going to stay in the sandy wash. So I'll take you up to the old stagecoach, which is this building right here in the middle. After the stagecoach, the wash will go right, or it'll go left, or you'll see a trail that goes right up the middle of the mountain. If you go right, this way is really easy. If you go left, this is what's called the waterfall. They call it Big Step on this map. The biggest issue for this section is that people get too close to the wall and then they go off camber and then they smack the roll cage in the wall. So our little rule is about 12 inches. Give yourself about a foot between your tire and the wall and you should have enough room to swing. Or you can bypass that and take what we call the Dragon's Back, which is a series of hills that'll bypass that whole section. Now, if you have any questions, any problems, my phone number's here. Give us a call. Alright, that one's for you. Now, a quick operation of the vehicle. This is your drive belt. This is what connects your motor to your transmission. The biggest issue for these vehicles is people that don't know what they're doing. They leave it in high and they try to climb a hill and then they smoke a belt. So the little rhyme is when you're going slow, shift in low. Before shifting any gears, come to a complete stop. Let your RPMs come to an idle, then shift. Otherwise, you grind your transmission. And that includes your four-wheel drive. It's a push button on the dash. Stop, push the button, then proceed. All right, let's go get you loaded up. There's a sensor in your seatbelt. You got to buckle it up, otherwise it'll govern you to 15 miles an hour. There's a sensor in your brake pedal. If you do not engage the brake pedal, your ignition switch will not work. Just a quick reminder before you go out on the highway to know that you need to be using arm signals to indicate to other drivers which direction you're trying to turn. 90 degrees is to turn right, straight out is to turn left, and to put your arm down is to either slow or stop. Also, it's good practice to always put your car into park when you're exiting the vehicle, especially when you're on top of a hill. Doesn't matter how big or how small the hill is, when you're wanting to go slow, make sure you're in low. And then for this, you also can push your four-wheel drive on. That'll evenly distribute the weight on your vehicle to ensure that you don't burn your belt up when taking a little hill or a big hill. And when you're back on the flats, you can turn off your four-wheel drive, shift it back into high if you're done.
If you're under the age of 18, don't even think about operating or riding in an OHV without a Department of Transportation approved helmet.
They're required by law for anyone under 18, but they're recommended for everyone. Remember, kids must wear helmets while riding any type of OHV. Seatbelts are required for all front seat passengers and for anyone under the age of 16. If your vehicle is equipped with seatbelts, wear them. Traumatic brain injuries occur in over 1/3 of all OHV accidents. When it comes to small children, kids 5 and under cannot ride in an OHV unless they're properly secured in a car seat. If they're secured in a proper car seat, then they are exempt from having to wear a helmet, but only if they are properly restrained in a car seat.
Watch your speed. Driving too fast is the #1 cause of accidents. Whether speed limit signs are present or not, you must always drive at a speed that's reasonable and prudent for the current road conditions. That's a speed that allows you to safely operate and maintain full control of your vehicle at all times. If you skid, slide, or lose control when avoiding a hazard, your speed is not reasonable and prudent. Spinning donuts is reckless driving, so be prepared for criminal charges, expensive fines, and a lot of points on your driver license. Not only does this cause long-term damage to the landscape, it's extremely dangerous and results in many accidents and injuries each year. Simply put, you're breaking the law whenever you drive with reckless disregard for people and property. Never speed past horseback riders. You can scare the horses and cause serious injuries to both the animals and the riders. Approach equestrians slowly, then stop and let them pass. They'll appreciate it, and you'll be generating some much-needed goodwill for OHV enthusiasts. Always be mindful of the dust you're producing. Slow down around pedestrians, campsites, and when passing through residential areas. Nobody wants a face full of dust. Being away from the city is not an excuse to behave badly. In fact, driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol is just as illegal here as it is on the highway. You're breaking the law if you're impaired to the slightest degree. Always stay on designated roads and trails. Don't make your own tracks or follow those left by others. Blazing your own path can cause soil erosion and damage fish and wildlife habitat. When you have to turn around, do not do it like this. Take your time and do a proper 3-point turn. It will minimize damage and get you headed back in the right direction. This part of the desert in southern Arizona has been destroyed by people taking their OHVs off the main roads, spinning donuts, and making their own trails. Because of that, the area is now closed to motor vehicles, and your favorite trails could be next. And finally, respect private property. When you open a gate, be sure to close it. The general rule is to leave gates as you find them. So when you get outside, enjoy, don't destroy. Stay safe, slow down, and make some memories. Leave the land like you found it. Arizona's a beautiful place, and you can help keep it that way.